What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of TPS Media. I got very special guest for y'all today. My guy, All American, one of the best running backs in the country from South Dakota State, Isaiah Davis. Man, how you doing, man? How you holding up?
Doing good, man. Blessed, truly blessed.
Oh man, how's summer going for y'all with camp and stuff like that?
It's going good. I think just the most important thing, just staying healthy. But I think we got a great group of guys here, and coaches as well. So it's been fun, exciting. But I'm ready. We play Thursday, so shit coming up. But I'm ready to roll.
I mean, we definitely gonna get into that. So let's start from the beginning, man. Tell the people where you from, and how you started playing football and stuff like that. From
So I'm from Joplin, Missouri. It's about 8 hours south from South Dakota, so not too far away. But it all started. I was playing flag football. I started in first grade. I played flag first and second. At this little park by the bridge, kind of by the north fields. But yeah, I started playing flag a couple years, and then I did JYFA third through sixth, and then ever since then it took off. But and I've always been around sports. My big brother McKinley, he did sports too, so I kind of followed his shadow, growing up a little bit. But it's been fun.
shout out Mac too, man. That's my guy too.
Yeah.
So, when did you realize? Like, I feel like all of us when we play sports, we have a moment where it's like, okay, I'm gonna be decent at this. Like, I can at least play it in college, maybe even professionally. So, tell us, like, when did you realize, like, all right, I'm like that?
Well, I would say starting, when I was younger, I was always trying to be the best. But when you're younger, you're not really thinking about all that. You're just playing the game because you enjoy and you love it. But
Mhm.
my coaches like in JYFA, always told me that I was gonna be special one day. I had a great future. At the time, what I'm saying, I didn't think it meant that much because I'm not worried about those kind of things. But um, to be honest, I didn't really think I was gonna be playing college ball. Getting to my sophomore going junior season, I finally got a dude came and visited me from Air Force, and I was shocked me because I had no clue he was coming, but he just came and talked to me
Mhm.
about coming to a camp and stuff. So I don't know, that kind of boosted my confidence there. And then um, sophomore going junior season, so junior season took off. I did pretty well, and then I had some small D2s and D3s come in to see all the guys on the team. So I don't know, kind of built my confidence there. But um, I think it really hit me when I finally got an offer. I was I was offerless until SSU offered me, which is where I'm at now. But
Mhm.
it's crazy to look back at the journey and where you came with with such little. Because to be honest, I thought I was playing college basketball D2 at Central Oklahoma because I played travel. I played for Victory and stuff. So it's just crazy to think about. But yeah.
That's crazy. So, for the people at home, he's saying he had a decent junior year. That's cap. He probably had one of the best junior years I've seen, and senior years. Obviously, I'm gonna read out some stats for y'all. I'm glad he acted humble, but we got 1,600. This junior year right here, 1,600 yards, 8.3 a carry, 130 yards per game, 28 touchdowns. So junior year started something special, obviously, but then senior year was crazy. Yeah, 2,200 yards, 9 a carry, 163 a game, 10 100-yard games. People, they played 15 games. That's ridiculous. And then you have 45 touchdowns and 2,500 total yards with receiving and other things like that. Talk about the success of y'all for your senior season and really only losing one game the whole year. So talk about that and tell me about that for us.
So I just think really our class, high school, ever since JYFA, I was talking about in those younger years, we went 31-0 in JYFA throughout third grade through sixth grade. So I think we all knew we were talented, and then we went to middle school, kind of got split up into three different middle schools, and then came
Mm-hmm.
back when we were freshmen. But I think we've always known we've had a special group of guys And with those guys, just it's easy to come to work every day. I enjoy being with those guys, but it was fun. Um, like the whole culture uh, was just nice and easy to get along with. Um, like the coaches, Coach Reed and stuff, made it easy for us to come out and ball. But no, when you think of practice, you think of like hard work and all that stuff. But we're coming to practice, busting our ass, and coach is like letting us do what we want to do. We're
Mhm.
flying around, giving max effort, but we're having fun with that at the same time while we're winning. But it was fun. Great teammates, great coaches. A lot of guys still are playing college ball now on that team, but it was fun journey.
It's good, man. So getting, like I mentioned, y'all only lost one game, and it happened to be the last game of the year. Y'all went 13-1. Talk about. I want to correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say y'all lost in a close game to the Schmet out of St. Louis. I want to say.
Yeah, we played this Met. We lost 35-20,
Mm-hmm.
but it was funny though because the week before that game, we were just like, I don't know, like this Met was ranked like 13th in the nation at the time. So like they were
Mm-hmm.
putting up numbers, each week, and all the hype around like how good they were and how many D1 commits. Like I think they had like 20 plus D1 commits on a high school team, which is crazy. But
Crazy.
yeah, but a lot of the guys on the team, were kind of doubting themselves, doubting our team just because of like who we're going up against. Because like in high school, like a bunch of the guys are just playing for fun, not to compete or go to the next level. So like it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
two different perspectives. But yeah, that was crazy. That team was talented. We was up 20-6 right before half, and then they scored again. I think it like half ended 20-14, and then come out second half, we tricked it. I fumbled. I think Blake had fumbled once. Zach had fumbled or something like that, but we had so many turnovers and gave the game away. But that team was definitely talented. Like I know, like one of the D tackles, Makai Wingo, he plays at LSU now. He transferred to Mizzou, but
Mm-hmm.
he was raw. But they had so much talent on that team. But it was a great run. I think it's like one of the longest runs we've had at Joplin High School in a long time. But it was a fun journey.
So when I was doing some research, I want to kind of it's kind of moving around a little bit too early, but so that year y'all didn't lose a game until y'all played the Schmidt, right? And then this past year when y'all won the national title, y'all lost the first game and didn't lose again and actually won the national title. I don't know if you thought about that. Like you ended up losing the first game, winning the rest of them your this past year, and then winning all of them and then losing at the end. So talk about like the satisfaction. Like I said, it's kind of skipping ahead, but talk about the satisfaction of actually like getting that ring this past year and remembering like, okay, the last time I was in this title game, it didn't go out how I wanted to. So getting to that for me.
That's crazy. Last year, the first like the feeling like when we won that championship, I felt invincible. Like
Mm-hmm.
none could stop me. I don't know, but it's funny to think about because like it was a great feeling. Don't get me wrong, but like the feeling only lasted that day. Like I woke up the next morning, like new day. Like I don't know. Maybe that's my perspective, but to me, it makes me like think about it as like it's more than just winning championships. Like I got goals for myself that I want to do. That's bigger than just winning a national championship in college. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it's fun. That compared to state championships is a little different because like that was my first ever championship. So a lot of the guys on the team come from like smaller schools and they won three straight or two straight in high school championships. So it's a little bit different, but it was special to me because it was my first one, and it definitely got the ring. But yeah, it was crazy. Like the whole atmosphere after the game, just looking down on the podium and like seeing just straight blue and yellow on the field, and it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had like the whole field was filled up with like blue, and then you look in the stands, and the stands are still filled. So like I don't know where all people came from, but it was crazy. The support here in Brookings is crazy.
Got you. I feel like the support is like times 10 because obviously they don't got no pro team. So it's like that y'all are their pro team in the same way like North Dakota. And that's why I feel like Bama is so like crazy with Alabama and Auburn down there too.
Yeah.
So we're going to backtrack and go to you mentioned your recruitment. So I didn't know your only offer was South Dakota State. So talk about that process and how that happened.
So really. So I had a couple offers. So I had South Dakota State, I had SEMO, which I don't even know if we can count that as an offer. Um, I was at Lindenwood camp, the same camp I got offered by SDSU. I was doing running back drills. The coach see me, he liked my size, and then he asked me to do one rep at linebacker, and then I did one on one rep at linebacker, tagged it off on the hip, and then he pulled me over and he gave me an offer. But for that one, that was it. Like I know, like a week and a half later, he invited me to a camp on Twitter, but like other than that, there was no other communication or something. So like you can count that as an offer, but like for me, like true offer like STSU, and then another offer was MSSU, which is like a D2 in my hometown, which like
Mhm.
a bunch of the guys on the dropping team, got an offer from them. But I would say like so MSSU is my real offer, and then South Dakota State. But the journey was definitely crazy. Like I said, I didn't know I was gonna be playing football for real until Air Force came and saw me. But I thought I was gonna be playing basketball. But I know I think junior year spring we was hooping, and then Coach Lujan, which is the offensive coordinator here at CSU, he came to our basketball game and he gave me, Zach, and James Boyd a camp invite to go to Brookings, and like this is like my first camp invite that I got. So I was stoked, shocked, shit, ready to take advantage of the opportunity, and then um, I think it's called like Junior Day. Junior Day came, went to that, went to the camp, and um, it was funny. Like I was at the camp I went to, we had like this little drill. That time I pulled my hamstring. I went to actually let me backtrack a little bit. So before I went to SDSU camp, I went to Missouri State camp. They didn't offer me yet. I went to the camp for linebacker, and while running the 40 was like one of the first things we did at the camp. I pulled my hamstring, and like no one had like knew or came up to me or acted like they cared. What it seemed like. And so I went to the trainer, asked what I should do. She said, "You should probably just ice." And I'm like, "Okay." And so then at that point, like I felt like I was wasting my time because if they wanted me, I felt like they would show interest in me, in which like I feel like they weren't. So we left, and then the coach texted me like a week and a half later. He asked me how was camp, and then I said I pulled my hamstring during the 40, so I wasn't able to finish out camp. And then he acted like he just knew, or he probably just found out. So I just like it showed me that they were really interested. I was one of the guys there, so like I feel like if I was one of their top guys, they would have like checked on me and stuff like that. But that's just something I was like looking for, as far as like the family base when I was going there for camp. But so boom, that went, and then I think like the next weekend I went to the SSU camp, and that's when I did like um, all that stuff, and then we did this drill, which is like this is also patterned. So we're standing like back to back, and then we have to like on the whistle run around the cone, and then come back and just hit. And
Mhm.
we was hitting, and like I was winning, but like I would get right back up, go again, and then the head coach now Rogers, he was the DC or I don't know if it's DC or a linebackers coach at the time, but uh, he was calling out his best guys on defense to go against me, and I just kept hitting.
Wait, these are you going against the
No, no,
team there already?
this is that camp. This is that camp. The camp kids.
Oh, I was
Camp,
about to say, I know they ain't had you going against the
no, no,
college players.
no, no,
Go ahead, my bad.
no. But so boom, he was calling his best guys. And I'm getting right back up, doing it again. He's calling his next best guy, get back up, doing it again. And then they kind of got like hype and stuff. But it was like a fun experience. And then um, so that went on, and then after the camp was done, uh, coach pulled me aside and he gave me an offer, like real offer. And so then once he gave me like an offer and told me how much it was, so then I was like, man, it's my first real offer. Like me and my parents headed home. Like I'm asking them what I should do, and then they just told me just like do what your mind thinks. Like keep where your heart's at. I'm like, yeah, but like as far as the recruiting process, not just like the whole welcoming of like SSU. Like when I went there, like they showed love from the jump, like the energy, the culture there. Like it still is, unbelievable. Just like the people they have to recruit. But that was really like the difference for me because like I visited like K State on just a visit. I visited Mizzou, and I don't like just being like another guy. If that makes sense. Like
Right.
When they show like investing in me and like their vision for me and stuff like that. That's something that I see, and that's something I seek. But like having all that in mind, I went to the camp. I got my first offer, like getting school like paid for a little bit, and then so like I'm thinking this is an opportunity for me. So then on the way back, long car ride. Um, I call Luhan back and I told him that I was committed, and then made my little Twitter post, and then that was it. It was crazy. But it was funny though. Like the next week, I went to Florida with some of my boys, and then like after I committed, I posted on Twitter. I had like other schools like reaching out, and like Baylor was one of them. Like Baylor hit me up, and
Really?
yeah, Baylor hit me up, and they're trying to get me to come down and um, see the campus and come to a camp. But like I told them I just committed. At the time, I didn't know like how it worked with like being committed and like not committed. So I thought once you're committed, like yeah, that was it. Like you couldn't like decommit and
Hmm.
resign. So I thought like when you committed, it was final. So I told him that like I'm locked in SCSU. Like it's like sucks that you waited like until after I committed to hit me up and stuff. And then he said, I appreciate your like thoughts, big dog, but you crazy if the head coach at SCSU isn't taking a job offer at Baylor. And I was like, well, you don't know Coach Tig because Coach Tig ain't gonna do that. But I don't know. It was crazy along the way, just like to see who reached out after I committed. But like I know, like going to the season, I think it was like a week before I had like really signed the paper to fully commit. Like Nebraska hit me up wanting me to come down to see the campus, and I'm like, yeah, like, it sucks that you wait like it's so long for me to be one of the guys. But like at that point, like I was already invested into SSU. I went to like 5 game days. Like I seen all the other commits and stuff. So like I was already bought in so much with SSU, and like I
Hmm.
didn't think that anything else could compare to it.
That happens so much too. Like you shouldn't. If you really wanted me, bro, you would not wait till somebody else like
Yeah.
like offered me and stuff. So I never understood that from the coach's aspect. So talked about committing to SDSU. So get into your freshman year and talk about like how that went and your expectations and stuff like that for your first year at SDSU.
So boom. So I'm gonna go to my first practice at SCSU. It was like August 5th, 2020. Was it 2020? It was on a Saturday. We came in on a Thursday, the freshman class, and our first practice was on a Saturday. And I thought I prepared myself, and in terms I didn't. Like we going through drills. I'm hitting every bag over. We're going through the plays on the field as a team, and I'm running the wrong plays, going to the wrong spots. I was lost for real. Like at the time, being like I didn't think it was for me. Cause like I've always came from like being the best, somewhere at school or where it's easy to me. It's not so hard where I got to think so much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different for me, and so boom, going to the practice is over, going to Monday practice. Um, I, I had a way better practice. I'm doing a little better things, like starting to get it a little bit. And then my Coach Johnson, he said you're lucky today. You gave me a reason why we recruited you because on Saturday I was wondering why the hell we recruited you. And that was kind of my welcome to college moment. Kind of gave me confidence, that he believed in me. But he told me from the jump that the opportunity was there, and like the main guy was Pierre, but the number 2 spot was open, and I didn't want to chase being number 2 spot, so I wanted to chase Pierre because I knew that he had already looks at being in the NFL and stuff. So that was kind of like my motivation and my push was to chase him, take his spot. But that whole year, like it's easy like when you have someone in front of you that's so close, to his dreams and goals, so you kind of like chase his habits, if that makes sense, and do the things that
Mm-hmm.
he does, so you can kind of build into your own. But it was fun. Coach Johnson, one of the best coaches I ever had. SCU my freshman year, like the best for me, I think, because he was so hard on me and he set the standards so high for me just and for myself. Like he always held me accountable with my weight and whatever it was and like expectations. Like he never let me settle. And that was good for me because like sometimes it gets hard and you want to just like chill or be complacent. But when you have someone like holding you accountable, it makes you better in the long run. Definitely mentally too. But it was fun. Like I said, chasing P, like expectations. Like he obviously good at what he does. But so going to my first game, I had like one rush, one catch for like 16, 17 yards. The next game, I had like two rushes against UND. Like that was it. But like I wasn't on like a lot of plays, just like blocking for like P or blocking for Mark, just because like I was like a bigger body, and to give P
Mhm.
a break so he's not going the whole 60, 70 plays. And then the third game, we played Western Illinois at home. At the time, they weren't as good, and so I got in when we were up by like 20. I got my cool 9, 10 touches, and it kind of gave me some confidence. I think I had like my first touchdown was that game on a little duo, so I was definitely hyped because it was
Mhm.
first touchdown in college, and I was jumping around. I didn't know what to think. It was crazy, but so then it kept going, and then I think game like 6, P had I think he got hurt. He didn't travel to SIU, so that was my first time starting, and it really took me like to that game, like the second drive is when like I really got my confidence because like you can have confidence like being a backup, but like it's hard like, until it really depend on you and like you do it. So like ever since then, that's when I got my confidence, and I think I had like 3 touchdowns, 150 yards my first start as a freshman. So ever since then, it's just been growing ever since. But definitely a fun journey.
Was that the year where y'all had to like split your seasons? Like you had the fall and then you had the spring one?
So that was like this. So we didn't play. So when I came in as a freshman, it was in the spring, the fall of 2020. That's when it got
Mhm.
canceled, and then they moved it to the spring of 2021.
Okay, yeah.
That was the season, the spring 2021. Yeah,
Okay. So I want to say y'all are the first team, or y'all are one of the only teams to play two seasons in one calendar year.
yeah.
So talk about how like that came about in where y'all like I don't think this is smart. Like obviously from a football player standpoint, like you want to play, but as you get older, you're like that much bang on your body is not gonna be smart for the long run. So talk about how that decision came about and stuff.
So I think it was like the worst part about it was just like trying to like conserve like all our bodies, but at the same time still getting the work in. So boom, after that season was over, I think coach gave us like a month off, and then we had to come back, get right back to it. But he kind of made it optional if you want to come back early. So I think I came back like there's like only 7 guys that came back the first day. I was one of them, but
Mm-hmm.
it was definitely hard. Like I think that season was like the most injuries we ever had, just because we couldn't give us that. Usually it's like 7 months, 8 months to rest. Instead we had 2 months into our first game. So it was definitely or 3 months, but it was definitely like a little different. Um, like I said, trying to like um, take care of our body at the same time, get the work in still. But now for me, like I wasn't getting as much reps like as I am now, but like I was still able to like in the off season put in work just because like I didn't get all of that banging or wear and tear during the season before. So
Yeah.
like I came back ready than ever and coming around against Colorado State that next season. So yeah.
So is this? I'm trying to make sure this might be that season when you had that crazy run against Sam Houston. So that game was in the tournament. I unfortunately ended up losing, but
You know.
I want to know your thought process in having like that type of run because I remember we were all at Mac in them house watching that game, and I don't think any of us stopped screaming for like 5 or 10 minutes because that run, like watching it was crazy. Whenever I post this, I'm gonna try to add the clip in there because the run was crazy. So talk about your your thought process going through that run and like how many people you probably went through on that run.
Uh, so I think we was on like the 15 or R15 backed up, and I think we was running mid zone to the left, and then lineman gave me a good little gap. It was big as can be, fit a truck through it, but got to the next level. I think I made the free man miss, and then ran to the left. I think Jackson was blocking somebody down the sideline, and then the safety came from the far side, and then gave him a stiff arm. Was on the sideline, about to be out of bounds, and just kept it pushing. But yeah, it was definitely crazy. Like I was so like juiced up during it. Like I didn't know what I was thinking. I was just out there running like angry as hell. Just like yeah, but it was crazy. But after that run, like everybody was trying to like jump on me and push me and stuff, and I was drained. Like I'm like, get
You was
away
probably
from me.
tired.
I need to sit down somewhere for real. Like
Mhm.
yeah, but it was crazy though. For sure.
Got you. So we getting towards the end. I know you got to get to class and stuff. So talk about the next season. You start off with, I don't want to assume or anything, but probably one of the most like disappointing games with Iowa. I watched that one. That was probably the most defensive game I've ever sat and watched in my life. The score was 3-7, excuse me, and there was no touchdown scored. So, talk about that game and how that was probably was that your first game against a Power Five school?
Second, we played Colorado State my freshman year, my sophomore.
Okay, so yeah, second one, like as far as like Big Ten, talk about that game and how that went and how disappointing that one was.
Yeah, it was definitely disappointing. And it was crazy because like that defense was definitely the best defense I never faced. Hats off to them, but
Mhm.
I think it was just rough. Like so, boom. This is our first time. Our OC was new. Our first time being an OC. So the OC the year before he left and went to Idaho. So like this is his first time being OC. It's like my first time being the guy because the year before I had Pierre, and so like we kind of like split reps. So and then a lot of our line, was new. We had a transfer, two guys step up, and then Mark Gronowski, our quarterback, that's like his first game back because he had towards ACL in the championship in the spring season and then missed all the fall.
Yep.
So it was. I'm no man of excuses, but it was rough. I feel like we was put in a lot of rough situations at the offense. Like I think we had, I want to say like I don't know if it was 12 or something drives inside our own 20. So like we was if we wanted to score, like it had to be like 80-yard, 90-yard drive down the field. Like I said, we
Mhm.
had two safeties that game. One was on me. My bad for that. But I think our only points came from I think Franny got a pick in the second quarter or third quarter, and then we had the great field position, and we settled with the field goal. So it's definitely rough. Like a lot of those guys in that defense that we face, are playing the league now. I know like Van Ness plays for the Packers. I think Jack Campbell, the Mike, he's like 6'5", 250 or 260. He plays, I want to say for the Lions or the Falcons, but it was a crazy experience just being there. Seeing like being in front of 70,000. Like I say, like me in that corner. I think when I got that safety, like that was the loudest I've ever heard. Like screaming in my ear. Like I got 70 fans like 10 yards behind me just screaming. And 70,000 people packed in the stadium. But it was definitely a learning experience, like as far as preparation and that sort of things. But it was fun though.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Iowa known for their defense, and they do like football up there. So I feel you on that one. We gonna jump ahead and we gonna talk about y'all didn't lose a game in the rest of the season, but I want to talk about the playoff run once we get to like the tournament. Man, y'all scored 40 points in every game, all playoff games. You had 100 plus yards in every game, and then y'all ended up dominating the national championship, obviously, and beating was I want to say it was North Dakota State. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, championship. Yeah.
Yeah, beating y'all arch rivals with North Dakota State. So you mentioned earlier, like it was good, but that's not what your like end goal is. Like a national title is great, don't get me wrong, but what's your like goal where it's like, okay, I'm here now.
So it's funny. It's like I think, like, obviously, like I have goals of playing in the NFL, or dreams playing in the NFL. But like my coach the other day, he asked me. He was like what's your like goal when you get to the league, when you get to the NFL? Like you think about it from the same perspective as like when I'm in high school, like I had goals of playing college football. I had dreams of playing college football. but I never had made goals like what's gonna happen when I get there, so I'm prepared or like I have something to like work for. So no, that's a good question. I think like the biggest thing, like the next step, well, small focus, taking it day by day, and the things will take care of itself. Like big picture, I want to hear my name get called during the draft. I feel like that would be awesome. Experience something that you dream of, you see like everyone go through, as a kid. But even to me now, like me being, hopefully a couple months away from that happening, it's still crazy to think about like where I'm at and like how things have came apart or came this far. Because like I said, like in high school, like I thought I was playing college basketball, just, like you feel me, just playing D2 at Central Oklahoma because I went to a camp there for basketball. But it's just crazy to think about like how far things have came and where they're gonna go.
You know I'm at that draft party too. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
So let's see. Give me your goals, like you mentioned. Give me the goals for the upcoming season. And the last question I got is: are you the best running back in the country? And I don't care about the conference, FCS, any of that. Are you the best running back in the country?
man, there's a lot of great.
Humbly.
There's a lot of great running backs, man. Everybody got to say different, the different strengths. I think it's like
Mm,
easy for me because I'm like a bigger running back, but I'm not gonna say myself. I ain't gonna say myself.
okay.
I can't do that.
Okay, let's say it from this. From the FCS level, are you the best one?
Man, no, I like to say, I feel like I worked myself and to put myself in that position to say I
Mm,
can, but humbly speaking, I'm just not. You feel me? But I think like I know there's a running back from Monmouth. I think he was up for the Walter Payton Award last year. Um, good size, speed, like he's great too. But there's so many other running backs, in the FCS level, like that just have different playing styles. Like for example, last year there's a running back from Youngstown, and he was quick, smaller dude. But like now I would, to be honest, I wouldn't have thought he would, did as well as he did in the league right now. But he's playing for the Broncos right now. I think he has like 4 preseason touchdowns. So like just think of like how dudes was kind of like overlooked, in college, and then the man name for himself at the next level. Something that's cool to me and something that I see and makes me give belief. But I'm not gonna say myself because there's a lot of other guys out there. Even on my team, Lamar Johnson, another great running back, but he's evolved so much since offseason people don't even realize. Like he's put on, I want to say like 10, 12 pounds of good weight. What I'm saying? But great things are coming this season though.
I'm gonna be watching, man. So, last question for sure. Give me somebody you would recommend on the pod to come on here, and can you get me in contact with them?
Recommend. Does it matter what sport?
No, it don't matter.
Let me see. No, I should have. So there's a guard at my school. His name is Zeke Mayo. He's went to Damian Lillard camp in Arizona, I believe. But met Damian Lillard, all that stuff. But he a hooper for real. He nice.
Bet.
He made a fillet yesterday, I think. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's
yeah.
certified though. But I probably recommend you him. See what he's talking about.
Bet. Say less. So that's the end of it, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'll be watching. Hopefully in April, my Bengals take you because we do need another running back. So that's it, man. I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm gonna have Zay stuff at the end. Hopefully, after this season, I'll be calling him a two-time national champion, man. Like I said, appreciate you. That's it, man. We'll have this posted up in a little bit.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. It's
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
Yo.